YouTube video. What's this on Facebook?
No, I'm not live.
On YouTube?
There's 3 viewers on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We wanted to come back on and get some good talking going on. So please make sure that you are talking to us on the side so that we can talk to you. We're doing this live just so we can get your feedback. We're learning that we got a lot of feedback and it helped us a lot. Hello, hello, hello.
Checking in.
Mm-hmm. No.
Mm-hmm. Wrong
Okay, hello. I can't really tell who's in here, so I can't really say hi if you don't say something to us. So I don't want you to think I don't know you're here. I just want to make sure that because you are here,
I don't know yet.
it says one person's watching us. So
What's happening?
talk to us. We are actually downloading a game. We're gonna play some PlayStation.
Man, we tell it for like 3 hours ago. So, how's everybody Friday going? Oops.
Hello, hello, hello. Talk to us. Chat with us so we can know how your Friday evening is going. Are you having some drinks? Are you watching some movies? What you doing?
Oh. Who has to do it? See that shit.
I'm telling you. Twitter. Y'all. Twitter. Watching you laugh out loud. You watching us. We watching nothing right now. Tasha. Where's James? Laugh out loud. There he is. What's happening?
So, what's y'all? How y'all doing?
What did y'all eat good for dinner tonight? Huh?
And what is the
Who's that?
them peppers that I like called?
Tasha said they're doing all right. What did you say, baby?
So what's the
Yellow what?
banana peppers?
Banana peppers. Ouch. Yeah, they're like more yellow. How y'all doing? We doing good. Just took me a shot.
Relax on the Friday.
What y'all drinking up? Some Jose Cuervo.
You said tequila.
Tequila.
You were looking for me. Hold on, tell you that. Damn, I think it's still stuck 35 minutes.
Hello, 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 everyone. I'm trying to see what the vegetarian dinner was.
For real.
Shot, 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 shot. Yes, Tasha. Yes. Quarantine, we at home. What else you gonna do?
Okay, that makes it better.
That make the light look better.
Oh, that's
Much better. I want y'all to be able to see us now. Let's talk about relationships. Leaves and sticks. Jay, come on now.
sounds about right.
You and Jaron. What are we gonna do with y'all two J's?
P.S. What the fuck is this?
What happened?
On the internet.
Really?
On devices.
Oh. I could turn this phone off.
No. Okay.
I'm telling y'all, what y'all got plans for tomorrow? What y'all doing? Tasha said, what do we want to talk about in relationships? Well, let's actually talk a little bit on how to continue to love past this 1 year that a lot of people make it like a year, 2 years, and then they just like, nah, I don't like that person.
Fun. Keep this shit excited.
Tasha said a whole lot of nothing. What about y'all?
Same.
Pretty much. Most definitely, we should all try to figure out how we're going to continue to keep the spark in our relationships and know that hard times come and you gotta stick. You can't just be throwing people to the wolves, right, babe?
Yeah.
You can't just come up on a bad situation or let something bad happen and just turn that into how you feel.
Or put everybody in that category.
And keep people out your business. Your relationship should be your relationship. And if you're seeking counseling, you need to seek counseling together, not
Separate. Yeah.
separate. Jay, please chime in on that. I know that a lot of our lady viewers like hearing from the men. And Jerome, please tell me what you think about that.
Let's get it first.
I don't see it.
You said it, so.
We have 4 people online. I can't see who you are until you text something to us. So I can say hello. And a brief little overview. We're talking about relationships, trying to get people to chime in. Tasha said, I feel like couples sometimes think that every day is going to be peaches and cream, and when the real nitty gritty, they want to leave. What do you mean by nitty gritty? Do you mean what? I would have to disagree to Jason. You have to disagree to why? But tell me why you disagree. Tasha, when hard times come, when the struggle hits, when it's not all that they thought was going to happen, it isn't happening. Women, especially, were so they. I think a lot of our kids and our women look at Cinderella and think that this knight in shining armor is going to come and wisp you and pay all your bills and take care of you. And women need to understand that men go through stuff too. And then same thing goes for men. They need to know that women go through stuff too. I think the issue is every plays like the completely perfect person for the first little bit, and they show their true colors at the turn of 6 months or a year. True colors scare more than struggles. Babe, that one I want you to do because I think you have a lot of insight in that because what you dealt with me. Because I think sometimes people tell you what they think you want to hear or what they want to be or who they striving to be. And if they're not doing the work, then you see the truth. Right, babe? I really truly believe that I can talk for me. So I'm going to say for the women in my age group who didn't have both parents or didn't have positive relationships in front of you that you wanted to emulate or that actually showed you the truth, because you can't really follow your grandparents because your grandparents are not the same age as you, and they're not going to tell you, oh yeah, your grandpa cheated on me, or oh yeah, somebody cheated on, and I had to go through that. Most of the times you see your grandparents and they're happy by then. They're happy by the time that you get grown. I found that being with someone who I actually know and that knows me, we can handle struggles no issue, but the fabricated dates that lead up to a blind relationship never work. What do you mean by fabricated dates? You mean like in the beginning when you take them on that expensive ass date and let them buy steak and they don't even eat the shit? Because that's what my poor husband had to deal with. He took me on that first date and I was trying to try him. Okay? Huh, babe? Didn't I try to try you?
I was cooking on that.
But I ordered the most expensive steak there was, exactly, and only show and tell your best qualities. Most definitely. I feel like a lot of people put what they think other people want. Let me know.
Why is that?
I want to see who you really are. I don't know why. Like you want to show all your good qualities first, but you don't want to tell somebody like, hey, sometimes I don't want to take a bath, or sometimes I call people that I shouldn't call, or sometimes
I should tell somebody that.
But like you should tell the truth. Like, let people know what your insecurities are.
How you gonna come to a relationship blind?
Exactly. Tasha said, I feel like these are phases in relationships, not just dating, engagements, and marriages, but in the marriage alone, there are phases, and it is a continuous learning experience.
True.
Jay said, let's get down to earth. I want to see what I'm going to be within a year. Laugh out loud. True.
Yeah, because if you ain't got them type of goals, then...
But your goals should automatically be like, I want to be with this person, regardless if you're just dating to just date, then don't take this in. But if you're dating like most people should be dating,
even that though, if
you're dating to know this person forever.
Well, even with fun though, you should want to know somebody you're fucking just in case you're gonna get pregnant or some shit.
And that's the thing. A lot of women are turning around and laying with these men and telling them all these stories about themselves that they're not, or that's what they want to be. You need to tell people like, hey, I want to be this, but what I am right now is this.
That has to do with confidence though.
And I think that's where we need to work on. We need to work on building the confidence in relationships and people so that you have confidence in yourself. You got to love yourself first. You can't expect somebody else to love you the way you want to be loved. No, you love yourself.
As my cousin Drake told me, a woman can only say no. So hey, that's the worst answer.
But a lot of us women don't feel that way. And I mean, women, please chime in. And sometimes it's not going to be, I'm in the same phase with you, and people think, oh, you've changed, but everyone should change. Yes, you should be continuously changing. And we might change on different levels. Like I might be moving really slow and he might be moving really fast. But if you're not communicating with your partner, then your partner's not going to know.
Yeah, if y'all ain't growing together, man, y'all just need to quit that shit. Just end it. Grow with somebody else.
Or grow by yourself and then get in a relationship.
Well, if you're not comfortable with yourself first, then you shouldn't be trying to get with nobody.
Exactly. Love yourself first. You have to love yourself first. And I think us as African Americans need to learn that the most. We need to learn that if you love yourself first, then you know how you want to be loved. You can't expect somebody to give you that.
Well, I don't know, because you get the excuse, oh man, my dad wasn't around, oh my mom, we just...
But after a while,
shit.
I agree, babe. Evaluation is love 101. Tasha said self-love is a big factor for sure.
Yes.
But a lot of us women, and Tasha, you could probably...
Dudes too, though. Every line.
You got to love yourself. Like, you know what you got. Like, if everybody my husband has confidence through the roof. Because his parents and his grandparents and his family, they showed him that all he had to do was ask somebody for what he wanted. And if all they can do is tell you no. And if they tell you no, you turn your head and go on to the next person until they tell you yes. Or you go get it yourself. But a lot of people haven't been taught that. They were taught, oh, if you're going to be loved 100%, you're going to get the love from your mate or the person that you want. They looking at Cinderella and Princess and the Frog and thinking that these situations really happen like that. Like, yes, some situations happen like that, but you can't expect a fairy tale. Jay said, as men, we have to be willing to find out who we are, not what society makes us.
Yes.
True confidence is power. Ashe, King.
I was listening to society anyway. What the fuck is that? Like,
why are you what is that, seeking approval?
Yeah.
Seeking approval from anyone. You shouldn't be seeking approval from your parents. You shouldn't be seeking approval from anyone.
Well, at least your mate. Well, that's the least.
I mean, you can seek approval from your mate, but if your mate doesn't feel the same way you feel about something, that doesn't mean you get to feel bad about it.
Okay. It's just a disagreement.
Yeah, you agree to disagree and keep it moving. But that doesn't mean you get to say, oh, I want to break up. Or let's say, what's another scenario that causes a lot of relationship fights?
When a woman wants to take the lead, it's not in women to run things. Well, okay, let me. Okay, I'm lying. Please don't try to fuss at me. Women aren't held to lead, but men go first.
Tasha said, sad part is some people have been taught that, and then they think the moment that someone breaks their heart, self-love gets lost.
Well, you can leave a person quick if you don't like that shit. Like, I don't know. That's when you're like, this point is sticking something out. You don't see it working.
But how do you feel about self-love being lost because somebody didn't give you what you wanted?
Okay. You may go through that.
Yeah, that's what I said. How do you feel about that?
It's up to that man. Like, if he's strong, you're going to. Well, and the quality of the woman. If you actually see her worth, you make it work.
So, as a man, how do you see the worth in a woman?
Where she carries herself, her tone, confidence. It's about her business.
So, how do you see through the
facade? That's easy. I mean, because whatever she has excessive of, that means she's insecure about whatever. You really don't try to go for them chicks, but.
So, as women, what is it that we need to portray to get the perfect mate?
Nobody's perfect.
And I want to say, okay, let's take the perfect out. To get the mate that you're looking for, like, what energy should you be putting out to the ancestors?
Yourself. You. No facade, no misleading truth. Be yourself. If that person can't accept you as yourself, then y'all don't need to be together. That's not your soulmate.
And how do you know your soulmate as a man? Because us women don't know.
You actually want to tell her about things that usually you don't tell nobody.
So what if it's a man who's super talkative? Yes, you're yourself, Jay said. And Tasha said, I agree with what you said.
What you mean? I'm not.
So let's say you met me on the corner, and I showed you signs that I could be the woman you wanted. But then at the same time, I showed you signs that made you want to back up.
You're not going to be able to show both.
Okay.
If you're doing the acting role, your conscience is not going to be able to come out.
So how long should you wait? I mean, a lot of women are on this right now. I need a mate.
Wait for what?
It says, Jay said, then you will attract the person that you are supposed to be with. And I think that goes for friendship relationships too. So I don't want you to think if you're not trying to date somebody that we're not talking about those relationships. We're talking about all relationships.
Yeah, I'm learning that now. Everybody doesn't have to be.
Everybody don't need to be your friend, and everybody don't need to turn into your family.
Like you, like sexual. Like you can have platonic friends of the opposite sex. That actually comes in handy. Y'all have to know boundaries, like. Yeah.
So, what are your boundaries with your, let's say, your female friends, because you are in a committed relationship? No, I'm saying, what are the boundaries that men should put up? So some men don't know.
We're not sexually touching. We're not fucking.
But what should you say in communication? Because there's a possibility. Women is checking phones now.
Y'all already know off gate what's up to it. So.
Jay said, then you will. And then Jay said, that's true. The law of attraction works across the entirety of life. Yes, the law of attraction, but some people are putting out, like they're saying one thing, but inside,
it's another thing.
It's another thing. So now you battling on the ancestral plane So now you're getting all these people coming at you because you are putting out that you want people to come.
The front can't be put on but for so long. The truth is going to let itself out.
Tasha said, I think it comes down to a conversation too, because you can display one thing and one another. So how do you start those crucial conversations, babe?
What you mean?
So you're in a relationship or you're dating and you want to have a conversation where you can actually get the meat of somebody.
It's like another person besides you?
Yeah.
You're talking about the platonic female women?
Yes.
I mean, when you come on tour, you already gonna put out that you're married, but that you can see each other as friends, Men and women can be friends without having sex, but it has to be laid out. I can tell you that now, that has to be laid out.
Jay said, but that's when it comes back down to vibrations. If you get yourself in line, you will vibrate and read vibrations correctly. But how do you get yourself in line? Because a lot of people
being true to yourself. Yourself.
Don't know how.
People know themselves. They just don't like it, so they don't want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
People know themselves. She's been with you. You're the only person that knows you best. You know you. So that'd be like front. So like excuses people use. You know yourself better than anybody else.
So how can we get? Renette said being honest. But how can you be honest? Like a lot of people didn't learn being honest. A lot of, especially people who have been in poverty or been let down a lot, they have learned the victim role.
Well, shit, there's women out here that have been victimized, but having used that as an excuse. So, I know.
But that double talk, like we reading this book,
yeah.
The Art of Macking. The Art of Macking has really opened my eyes to like how people communicate. Jay said they want to run from themselves. I agree. People know themselves. Stop running. That's the best thing I can say. Stop running. Learn yourself. Do self-help. Get a counselor. People of melanated skin, you can get a counselor.
But for the women that's not trying to end the hoeing, do your thing. Do your thing.
But be honest. Be like, hey, I'm going to be Harani Ho till I feel like it. And then don't go run and find Square Bear Johnson.
That's what they always do, man. You can't get them giving up the game. Shit. Baby, do the voice with you. Just don't play with nobody.
But you're going to find Square Bear Johnson and you're not telling him about who you really was, or you move into a different state.
Well, the Square dude already know what's up. She's spending cash and she's living undercover like the hell know about. So the Square Bear knows.
So, but do you think that's okay? Do you think that's being honest? Where you move, let's say somebody lived in Florida and they moved to Colorado, and they come to Colorado and they find this person who's never been around and probably not on their social media, so they didn't cross paths. They didn't got a new social media, and then they put off this story, but they're not telling their past, because I feel like your past makes you who you are.
So ass always comes back. So you can hide it for a moment, but it's always gonna come out.
So let's not play games with each other. Let's learn to be honest.
Well, if you're playing games, like, why are you wasting time? Like, isn't people too old for that shit? Like, fuck. Honestly, you can tell the person what you want. More than likely, they're trying to do the same thing. Like too short to be trying to jump around the bushes and shit.
If your goal is to have a committed relationship, what do you think that people should be portraying?
When you first come in a relationship, you should be letting know what you want, what you don't want. Because it's basically like a business deal when you come into a relationship.
Explain.
Because y'all both putting on the table who are y'all, what you can settle for, what you cannot settle for, what you're going with, what type of baggages. You have, say, if y'all can work, y'all go back and forth with that.
Jay said, on the flip side, you also got to be willing to accept a person's past. If they have evolved or became better, why don't?
Yeah, she can let that be known, though. She's not going to try to hide it.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. But I think a lot of men, if you tell somebody that you got 100 bodies on you, are not going to treat you the same. In my eyes. So you tell me from a man's perspective, if a woman says, I got 100 bodies, will you still love me because I'm a different person now?
Regular Jaron or jackass Jaron? Because I could give you two goddamn examples of what I'm thinking about. Shit like that.
Do both.
Okay, jackass is how the fuck does she look, and then I'm gonna have fun with it. Yeah.
But would you accept her past and let her grow in a relationship?
Yeah, I'm not that mature. Nah. I can't.
Not either one of Jaron?
Fuck no. Like, what if we're in the same damn state and goddamn you? No. Like, no.
Tasha said, also, let's not make unrealistic expectation. Expecting the other person to meet them. No one is perfect. True.
Yeah, but you don't want to be with no girl. Y'all walk into Walmart. She done seen over 50 dudes. She done known like, oh shit. Honestly, just from a man's point of view, well, not even me. Fuck no. I'm not going for that.
So what do you mean by knowing a man? Because let's say this woman goes to church and there's a lot of men in church and you're like, hey, brother so-and-so. What's the, is it because she's hugging them? Is it because she's being...
Southern women hug people.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so what is it about her seeing people she knows? You could tell the difference between if they're like...
I don't know. It depends on what type of female. If she's honest, if she's not, but it's telltale signs. Bro.
Jay said, and that's what means why do men get praised for 100 bodies, but women get slut shamed? Ooh.
Honestly, because a woman has a vagina, something that can enter. A man doesn't want anything that a lot of things that have been entered. Well, for me, just my perspective is like, I'm not putting myself in there. I mean, even though you won't even know, like I remember a chick flat out told us, like, she was like the hat, June, middle of the year. She already had 8 bodies, but she was cool as hell. She was on the homegirl at the end though, because I lost interest.
Tasha said, okay, but if a man does it, is it supposed to be okay?
Nothing's okay. It's up to what you're going to deal with, what you're going to accept. Most men, a lot of guys like porn stars.
But a man can get a disease just like a girl can, but it's a difference.
Well, men can get pregnant. I mean, there's a lot of factors we can go into this. Like, honestly, as a woman, would you want a lot of men entering you? Look, like, let's be honest with going down to that.
As a woman, I don't think we want a lot of men
when you
entering us, but
respectable, like your mom wasn't telling you. Yeah,
but that's the thing. I feel like it's a double standard. Women are held to a standard that men are not held to.
Bullshit.
They're telling their boys go in high school and stuff. They're telling them go and be free willy and have sex and get your dick sucked and have all these experiences before you settle down, because we don't want you to settle down until you got all your oats.
Bullshit.
I'm saying like social media and stuff like that. They're telling men that it's okay to go and flaunt with the strippers.
Shit, well, right now, it's definitely the generation, especially the young ones.
And Snapchat.
They girlfriends are down with other girls, so.
Snapchat and Instagram.
Music hasn't made this lesbian shit cool, so the younger people with the shit, so what are you talking about? Like, people with it.
My thing is, if people are with it, are we going to be on the same page as people? Or are we going to start holding our kids and women, sons and daughters, to higher standards? Like,
I mean, what God wants is, son, you can definitely catch something. Like,
I mean, because there's some parents that are out there that are willing to let their kids. They're like, oh, I have a son, so he can have multiple girlfriends, or his girlfriend can spend the night because I don't want him to be gay. But then they got this daughter and they're like, no, you can't have a boyfriend and your boyfriend can't spend the night.
Shit. That happens to this day.
Tasha said, I don't want a lot of men entering me, but also why would I want a man that has entered everyone? Facts.
Yeah, but it still comes down to what you're willing to deal with. Like,
so I think we as people need to do like our video we said yesterday. Stand on what you want. So if you want somebody who is a virgin and you 35,
you ain't gonna find that. That's
then you gonna be single because you standing on your word. You want somebody who's a virgin. Or as a man, if you want somebody that is still a virgin in this day and age with Snapchat and
mail order bride,
Twitter, and you're gonna have to go to Thailand or something.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to call Africa. And what do you think about that? People that are in relationships, what do you think about mail order brides or mail order husbands, or that online dating and bringing that person?
It's not my problem. So,
but do you think it's good? I mean,
shit, if you're that damn desperate, shit. Spend $10,000 on a slave. Just gonna do whatever you want. Shit, hey, that's what you want. That's what you want.
And then, what do you think about the people who do get over here and then they get out of those relationships and they don't know how to take care of themselves because they thought they was going to be taken care of? Should we, as people, as a community, be taking care of these people?
Oh, because you came over here for some cash? No.
Jay said, I dated online once. That bitch was crazy. Never again.
Like, come on. No, you don't do that. So you're going to give her money because now she got her green card. And now she's broke because a buddy, whatever their situation was, fell out. People got to give her money? No.
He said, nope, deport.
Exactly.
So since you guys feel about bodies, what do you mean? What do you feel about women who have been married more than once?
It's out of your control. You can't control another woman's body. Or at least for me. Well, even care, like, you're not going to know.
But do you respect the person more?
Honestly, I really don't even give a fuck. I wouldn't want to know. That was before me. What the fuck I need to know all about that for?
Should more men?
God damn, she got some huge titties. Oh, shit.
Should more men be like that?
Look at this. Oh, shit, my bad, man. Good. God damn, that shit's falling off the shirt. God.
Whoa!
No,
I'm like, I can't even show y'all that video.
What the fuck?
Okay, let's see. Tasha said, I think that in these day and age, it isn't really going to work, or it will be hard because most people can portray what they want online is different in person. Most definitely. So
You're grown as hell. You guys are supposed to be flying these hoes out meeting face to face.
What I've learned is a man who really wants to be with you, and you chime in and let me know, a man who really wants to be with you will do anything in his power to not only get you, but to keep you.
Yeah, we know it's online dating, man. Within the first week, if she ain't down to get flued out, when you coming down there, there's really nothing much to talk about after that. Like,
okay, couples, I have another question. What do you feel about polygamy or adding people to your relationship?
Everything's not for everybody.
I think that it depends on me on why they left the previous marriage.
Okay. Damn,
Lynette
that is no. Yeah, damn, Tasha. Yeah.
Okay, So, do you ask those questions?
But I don't know, because exes, you would never.
Because I don't think people really tell the truth. They tell all the things that hurt them, but they don't take the time to tell all the things they did to possibly hurt their mate.
Yeah, so you have to decipher. That's a good ass question. But, yeah.
I think that most relationships are, I mean, stories are one story, the other story, and the truth lies somewhere in between.
Well, I'm closed-minded, so I wouldn't even want to give a fuck about the ex's point of view anyway.
No, but I'm saying that's how you get the full story. Like, if you're really trying to get the full story, I think that's the only way you can get the complete story.
Honestly, with me, I'm so closed-minded. I don't really give a fuck about the other person, period. Like, with the one situation, how you was talking one, like, I never was like, oh, I'm never talking to somebody. Like, to me, there's no reason.
Being good-hearted, I thought it was okay to talk to the other parent, and now I know that was not okay.
Well, at least not an emotional one. Because there are some other co-parents out here, so everybody's not bad.
But with co-parent, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with co-parenting when the other person is still emotionally connected to you?
Honestly, I can't answer that.
Because Jay said, I feel like bringing another in your bedroom can ruin things if you aren't both on the same page about it. It has to be agreed upon on both sides, and just going with it because your spouse wants it will not work.
Yeah, y'all got to know each other.
But I feel like nowadays people don't take the time to become friends with their mate. They like their mate. They think they sexy. They have the whole lust thing.
People like titles. I don't understand that, but yeah.
Titles. Okay. Yes, I get that. But if they've been married 17 times in the last 3 years, like, it's what's going on if it's 3 times in 7 years? I mean, I guess some people just a marrying type.
What if she didn't find that person? Like, I don't know. She might be telling all the guys you got to marry
before you get some.
I really don't know. Like, you've been square to do some shit like that, but
Touch that you can kind of determine. I mean, yeah, you can determine. Like, I mean, if somebody's been married once and they were in that marriage for, let's say, 3 or 4 years and it just didn't work, then I don't think that you should stay there and be unhappy. You should leave. And
the old person should never be in a relationship where they're not happy.
But how long do you stay unhappy?
I don't know, because I was with my baby mom for 7 years, and then I just told you, once I met you, just boom, no more feelings. Like, well, the feelings was already losing itself. So
I think that's men. Men can detach way faster than women. Jay said, true people do like titles over substance. Whoa.
What is a title though? Like, I don't understand that either.
I'm starting to now, in my age now, understand why people stay in relationships and don't get married. If it's not broke, why fix it? Why put a title on it when, if y'all living together every day and it's been 17 years and y'all treating each other like husband and wife, why do you need this piece of paper from the government with a number on it?
Well, society and friends and all that.
Mm-hmm. But that goes back to seeking approval from people that are not in your relationship.
Yeah, it's good talking, but most people don't think like that.
Tasha said, not at all. Leave, but you just said they've been in a relationship for several years. Then it seems to me that they were trying to make it work. Yes, they were trying to make it work, but they never got married. But then I know people who got married in, like, legal purposes. Okay, so I understand legal purposes, but is that a discussion that you have with your mate? Like, hey, like, I know we're great together. I know we're best friends, but we're getting older, and
I told you marriage was a business. Yeah, I come in shit like a business mindset.
So if marriage is a business, are people really striving for marriage, or are they striving for the relationship?
Man, they're striving for a title. Just so they're married, take pictures.
So is love showing off for other people, or is love actually what you have to live with every day?
And then again, that's all up to that person, because if you living for yourself, then no.
Jay said, "Where do we at?"
Also, last time me smoking on camera,
I didn't say you couldn't smoke on camera. I said,
so other people didn't do it.
hey, I have also come to a place in my life where I'm gonna be me, and if that means that I'm gonna smoke, then I'm gonna smoke. If I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna drink. I feel like people need to be themselves at all times and not worry about what the next motherfucker thinks. Excuse my language.
Don't excuse mine.
I feel like I live my life so long trying to please everybody. Now I want to please me. And the person that's with me wants to see me happy. And I want to see him happy.
Supposed to.
And every day we're not best friends. You cannot be best friends every day.
Everybody gets in arguments, just how you come back from that.
But I think a lot of arguments are about tone. I think that women need to.
We're talking about every disagreement is like an argument.
Yes, but a lot of people think that because you raise your voice at somebody, now you won. No, because if you have a relationship like mine, if I raise my voice at my husband, he's just gonna go on in another room. Like, girl, when you stop treating me like your kid, we can talk. So I had to learn that tones in conversations can make or break conversations.
Raising your voice in the conversation does what? That's just not for you, just for anybody. Raising your voice, getting loud, that doesn't accomplish what you're yelling about. You actually look crazy.
So women, are we?
Men to be men getting loud, trying to make scenes in public, trying to get other people to jump in.
So that goes back to seeking attention from other people.
Around.
And what about this? Everybody want to call the police on their mate.
Men call the police too, man.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No. Not even on mate. Men call police too, man. People be scary. But yeah, men call police too.
But why? Because at the end of the day, a lot of times when women call the police, you call the police and the next day you want to be with them. You want to sleep with them. You want to hug them. You want to kiss them.
Man, I done seen these bitches buying niggas out. Well, back in North Carolina after 72 hours. They'd be downstairs waiting for me.
So. Jay said, right? But dead serious. So if you bonding him out, why are you doing it? You obviously like it. He's not going to change over spending the night in jail. If anything, he's going to be pissed off at you.
Yeah, well, beat your ass.
He's going to do more. He's going to be more combative.
As I was told, to prove a point.
Tasha said, I think that people think that's their ace in the hole. But what is the government doing for you? We're on quarantine right now.
Okay, even that, you're going to get over your emotional problem and then want the man back, and then you don't put courts in it now. What is there else to do? Well, unless he go back with you just to get the case dropped, then.
I feel like it has a lot to do with discernment. You got to know that you put the right things into the person, and you got to trust what you felt Because I feel like if you didn't trust what you felt about me,
Well,
would
shit,
you be here still?
You wasn't. You said you wasn't the police type of chick until It also women toxic friends. Like God damn.
Jay said, because it's a damn game to these type of people. Call the police and then beg, oh, don't take them. Please, I don't want to see them locked up. Then why the hell you call the...
In the first place. For the chase.
I think a lot of women use that as, like Tasha said, their ace in the hole. Oh, I'll call the police on you.
So that's like child support. Especially black women. That's crazy in America.
Tasha said, I don't understand it. Calling the police, it's you're being abused, or calling them because he cheated or she cheated and you mad. I don't make sense.
9 times out of 10, it don't even be off physical abuse, be off the woman saying cheating or some shit.
Or, it's technology age. So you didn't picked up his phone and you didn't read it and you didn't even know the context of his conversation. Because a lot of times people have to understand that text messages, you don't know if there's a phone call in between. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if the text messages are based on a post on Facebook or something like that. I think people need to trust their mates. And if you don't trust your mate, then you need to communicate that to your mate so that your mate can make you comfortable. I mean, I feel like if you really want to be with somebody, you're going to try to make them comfortable. And calling the police is not the right thing to do. And
Never.
I have been that person. I talk to all my friends. They're like, oh, well, if he's in a bad place, if he's treating you bad, then call the police. I even had one friend, and I'm not going to say her name, but she told me to say he hit me. Oh, if he hits you, then they'll take him automatically. What? And I was so gullible at the time that I thought about it. I really did. This man never put his hands on me, but I was talking to my friends and...
I never even know woman. Okay. It's definitely going to take it like past 2011 down. I used to smack with talking crazy. But I don't hate women, to be honest. Like, that's not me. I call your brother or something.
Call your brother. I'm going to have to take a shot to that. How is the quarantine life?
Fucking bored. God damn.
Trying to homeschool your kids.
Then this is the perfect time to grow weed, though, kid, to be honest.
Do we have anybody who is growing?
Fuck that. Who works at an airplane? Who works at the airport? Like,
everybody said boring as fuck, boring.
Who works at the airport? Seriously, I need flights to go back home. Like,
if you
God,
feel like you
2 days.
Tasha said, if you feel like you got to go through the phone, you don't trust them anyways. And sometimes it's intuition, because to me, there should be nothing to hide but not worthy or calling the popo.
Yeah,
Tasha said, boring as hell. I feel like there's situations where people do look. And I feel like, yes, that is an insecurity, but sometimes you need that confirmation. But you got to have that open relationship. I feel like your phone, if you got a lock code on it, your partner should have it. What do you feel?
You got it. I was about to say shit. Even when we first came in,
I mean, I know you gave it to me, but do you feel like that would be a red flag if a girl was like, you can never have my code to my phone?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's some sneaky shit going on?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe though.
Jay said they don't have lock codes. Do you guys have iPhones? Like, I put my phone down so much, I might lose this thing.
Nah, somebody getting this phone. Yeah, they can't. That's why I locked on this phone.
So we do have locks.
I'm a perv, man. Yeah, I gotta have a lock on my phone.
You and your husband have the same code, Renee?
God damn.
I mean, the same code is cool. I mean, we both now have phones that have facial recognition, so both our phones have our faces in it.
What the? Can't she have one guys too?
I think that's so cute. The same password. I didn't even think about that. Both you guys needed to be able to get into each other's phones just in case. Oh, you have them, they're just not enabled. Oh, you guys switch phones sometimes.
Yeah, she got good.
So how many of the people in relationships on the live can say that they could change phones? Babe, you could change phones with me?
Yeah.
I could change phones with him. I mean, he wouldn't want to answer hair questions, and my clients would get different responses. Let's just say you would get the Beauty of Kemet website or the Style Seat, and you might not get nothing else.
That's a lot. Business and impression, two different things.
No, I'm saying like how I be talking extra. I give too much information. I think that changing phones is different. I know a lot of men who are not completely open and women who are not completely open in their relationship would not do that. Would not say, here, take my phone. My husband texts for me and makes calls for me, searches things on my phone, and that's perfectly fine. And I do vice versa. But we're so open, so I know that when I look, if I put up Instagram, I know I might see a man's Instagram and not mine, where when my Instagram comes up, it's got like positive quotes and Kemet and Ashe, and then you might see something. In this quarantine, are we trying to incorporate growth during this time? Like, how many of us are reading up on knowledge or just self-help?
Damn, she's strong.
I don't have them kind of muscles. And I have to salute all the entertainers, dancers, strippers. Y'all strong.
Fuck y'all.
Because them poles, y'all gotta have some muscles. Tasha said, I know my husband has homegirls he talks to. He will look at other women. He may look at videos, but he never cross any lines, and we can communicate on it all. And that is what keeps us strong. Yes, me and my husband send each other ass shots and videos and stuff like that, but that's just who we are. That doesn't mean that that's for everybody. That's not what's for us is not for everybody. That's because our energy put together is what we want. Your energy together, same thing. You know, he looks at things. What about porn?
No.
Tasha said, and that's not for everyone. Yes.
Definitely.
Most definitely it's not. But that's what we have. We do have a relationship where we can do those kinds of things. Do you spend time wondering what your spouse is doing?
Damn,
if you're strong in your relationship, you can be honest about everything. Yes. But that's what we want to share that. We want to give that to people. We want to help people know that hard times come, and
that's what shows you.
Think about the good time.
Fuck about the good times. Bad times is what show you everything about people.
I mean, like,
If a person will leave doing some bad shit or just switch up, you knew that person was never meant for you.
does your mate think of you before they think of themselves?
In what type of sense?
I mean, like how you wake up in the morning and we talk about breakfast.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Well, because, I'm not picky.
But what if I don't feel good?
Oh, I like cooking that. That's me.
How do we teach our youth to work through the bad times? How do we teach our kids to work through the bad times?
That stuff at home.
I agree, the struggle will show you who people truly are. Yes. And I'm not just talking about financial struggles. I'm talking about just
Arguments,
disagreements,
families,
different parenting types.
Oh shit, that too.
That's really hard. Like blended families. Let's talk about that. Blended family. Tasha said not common sense because not every spouse does think of the other first. Renette said by living it, being an example. But a lot of times our kids, they see a little more of us than we want them to see. Jay said, right, Tasha and I have had knocked down, drag out, and seen the absolute worst in each other. That's why we are strong now. You have to want to work through the mud to get to the pasture. Yes. Now that's what we need to be telling our youth. Let me read that one more time. We have had knock down, drag out, and seen the absolute worst in each other. That's why we are strong now. How do you get to the strong place? By making it through the hard places.
But y'all both gotta want it.
The temperature in the house. What do you mean by the temperature, Tasha? Because blended families is hard. It's not easy because you don't know what the other person's been raised to raise their kids like. And you might raise your kids totally different. Not saying that other person's style might not be something you want to adapt to. Tasha said the couples argue about. I think couples are arguing more.
Stop arguing in front of the kids.
In front of the kids. Like,
well, even the kids hear shit, so.
Blended families are hard if the kids are teenagers. Yes. Yes. Big facts.
Or if the mom don't think the kids never do anything wrong. It's a lot of parents like that. They don't see no bad in the kids, and the kid could be.
Because me personally,
that wasn't even got to it.
No, I'm saying me personally, my kids were teenagers when we got together, and my parenting style changed from my previous marriage to my marriage now. My parenting style changed because I went back to who I was. I went to the root principles of myself. I allowed myself to compromise. And a lot of people do that. And I don't want you to compromise in that. Don't compromise yourself in your relationship just because the parenting styles are different, but you have to make sure that you tell your partner how you parent, because that might be a make or break in the relationship. The person might say, I don't parent like that and I can't do that. But be what you say. If you say, I beat the kids every day, if that's how your parenting style is, I'm just putting this out here, that's a disclaimer. If you say you beat the kids every day, or you want to put the kids in the corner 5 times a day, whatever your parenting style is, if that other person says, that's what I do, and then when the kids act up, you don't put them in the corner or you don't whoop them, then you're not being about what you said. You have to stay true to your word when it comes to these kids. And then when they're teenagers, you can't do nothing.
That all comes down from.
Tasha said arguing in front of the kids is creating a toxic environment for them, and they will feel like they have to choose, move to the other room, and have adult conversation. And I think that's where a lot of our kids are growing up too fast.
Yeah, starts at home.
I think we need to go back to that old school stuff. I know a lot of people talked about that when we was kids. We was like, I don't want to be in the other room. I want to hear what's going on. I want to know. But that parenting style is how we need to adapt now in 2020. And people who are having children now, Renee said I agree, need to adapt to that.
Who's that?
Josh's mom.
Who the fuck is Josh?
Zayla's ex-boyfriend. I promise you 100% that children need 100% to not be in your business. If you're having a fight or an argument, go for a walk. We got all these devices, text, write it down on a piece of paper, but don't do that in front of the kids.
Yeah, some text message doesn't sound good. You gotta have verbiage.
Okay, go outside and do a video message so the other person put their earphones in and hear it. I mean, there's got to be a way to have those communications and disagreements with children in the house.
Oh, no.
Where they can't hear it. Learn how to argue with your partner. But what's a good way to argue? Like, agree to disagree and just shut up, and then you holding it in, and then now your chest is hurting and you getting ready to have a heart attack.
A healthy conversation is good.
Communication is key.
No. Arguments. They could be healthy arguments.
No, I'm not saying arguments aren't key, but I'm saying we have to learn from disagreements. You have to learn from the arguments. Because sometimes you learn about your partner. Like, maybe your partner just don't like you raising your voice. Maybe your partner doesn't like you.
Why would you want to raise your voice? If you can raise your voice, that means.
But some people was taught that the only way to show that you're passionate, because me, when I was younger, what I saw was when you're passionate about something or you're mad about something, you start talking in a big voice. You make sure people can hear what you got to say.
Debate one-on-one says if you got to raise your voice, you obviously don't know what you're talking about.
But that's what I was taught. That doesn't mean I was taught correctly. That doesn't mean that I haven't evolved. But
no, most people have that. You got to raise your voice.
And I feel truly.
That's what made me laugh at people in their face. And I'm like, why do people don't like you? Like, because I laugh in their face. Shut up there, like, fuck.
Yeah, but laughing in someone's face and they don't know. Sometimes people need to learn. Sometimes you need to tell them what they're doing wrong.
Over a certain age, you know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Like teenagers. Let's go back to these teenagers. Parents who have teenagers. I was grateful that I was coming into myself. Tasha said, Jay and I used to argue so different. I was the I'm going to walk away now and I'm done. And he's the stay and fight. We have to learn how to argue. Opposites. Because I want to just talk it out right now. I want to cry it out and deal with it right now. And when I get all emotional, get to crying and talking loud, my husband's like, I'll talk to you when you get your emotions under control. But you learned that. How long did it take you to get to that point, babe?
Life. If it ever went my way, I just removed it from my life. So,
do you feel like you missed out on some relationships that might have taught you something because you kicked people out your life?
If I had to kick you out of my life, then that means I learned that from you. So no, I wouldn't care.
Tasha said, now we know how to not even argue, but have a disagreement.
Boom.
But tell me how you articulate that, because that's what I want for our viewers to get. How do you articulate a disagreement? Because I find myself personally, when we disagree, still feeling like we had an argument or taking it personal. And then after a while, thinking about it or reading on it or taking the time to understand. And after you understand, then get to that other point. I really want. I want your opinion on that, babe. How do you feel about that? I have to walk away and calm down, then we are able to talk. But do you communicate that to your partner? Do you tell your partner, like, I need a minute, or you just walk away and then come back and want to talk about it later? Because let's say with my partner, if we're talking about something and it stays level calm, then he wants to just finish it now and get over it. If I just walk away, it's kind of like disrespect in a way. It's like you don't respect what he had to say later or in the conversation. Because me personally...
What if I laugh? I know you don't have to come back.
Tasha, we had to sit down and have a discussion about it and tell them, okay, this triggers me to do this, and I feel like this when you do that, and we came to an understanding. Yes, but you have to have that crucial conversation.
Damn, that's grown as hell.
Yes, we've expressed what it is acceptable when arguing. Good. So we need to figure out a way to be able to...
Yeah, you start raising your voice in the point talking.
To come to that understanding. I feel like a lot of people take for granted those conversations, those crucial conversations. I mean, because our teenagers and our young adults are coming out of high school and coming into their adulthood, and they're starting these relationships, and they're not coming to the table like, well, my mom yelled at me all the time, so when you raise your voice at me, it automatically makes me not listen to what you're saying.
Oh, please hit that like button, everybody.
Please like and subscribe to the channel. I want everyone to know that we put this channel together not only to tell our life experiences, but we also wanted to, like today, I'm really grateful that we're having this back and forth dialogue, because I want people to understand that relationships are not all the same. What I do in my relationship is not the same as what Renette does in hers or Tasha does in hers. But that doesn't mean it's not working for them. That doesn't mean they're not having a good relationship. Tasha said, for me, if the conversation is calm, I'll listen. And if I don't walk away and be done, then Jace stays calm, and it took a while to get to that point. I think that that's really good. But how do we tell people who are starting relationships or looking for relationships, how do we tell them how to do that same thing? How to stay calm and listen with intent, but not listen to respond. Because I've learned that a lot of people listen to respond and don't listen with intent. The way I parent my kids is different from how I communicate with my young adults. But what if the young adult is your kid? If the young adult is your kid, so you want to be their mother, but you also want to communicate to them so they can learn. Who's to say that the knowledge that you're putting out is not going to get to your kid? And your kid's gonna be like, well, my mom says this, but when she talks to me, she doesn't say this. How do you keep that balance? Because I know a lot of us have learned, or I learned, do as I say, not as I do. But if you see that and you grow up seeing that, and you might say in your mind, I don't want to be that, I don't want to be like that. But one day you might start showing your kids the same thing. Bear in mind, they just aren't kids anymore. They're young adults trying to figure out life. Kids are trying to figure out life, babe. If they're trying to figure out life, how do you express to them how to figure out life?
First, is that kid open to listening? Because you could just be talking and talking.
And I feel like a lot of times that's what we do. We talk at our kids and they're not taking in anything that we're saying. And they don't think about it for years. Because there was a lot of things that people said to me, adults, I won't say just my parents, adults said to me, trying to mold me and shape me into a better woman, a better goddess as I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't take it because I thought, oh, they trying to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I'm grown now. I'm over 18.
I was talking about before 18. Because usually that's when it happens. Like, the kids don't want to start listening. That happens before. When they start showing the independent stage that they got it.
But what do you do when the kids are telling you one thing and you're not paying attention to all the signs? Because my kids were telling me one thing and the signs were there and the communication was there and I wasn't picking up on it.
Oh, no. My dad used to always tell me, just put me up on game, let me know what's up. I can help you out with anything that you need. I didn't want to. Just being stubborn, just wanted to do it by myself. So, I don't know.
We tell them what they have to experience life to really get it. I asked myself what was I doing at that age and then try to be understanding of that. That's really good. But what I was doing at that age and what these kids is doing now in 2020, 2019, 2018 is totally different than the 19s. Tasha said, if you make them feel like they can come to you about what they feel, then they will come to you and listen. But they will also get their own bumps on their head. That's life. All kids lie, we do it. Yes, I understand that they lie. And I understand that humans lie. But how do you build the bond where they can talk to you, but you're still their parent? Because I think that's a line that a lot of parents blur.
Bullshit, when they used to call me out on my shit.
Not you. You came up in the 90s.
I'm saying, but it's still kids get caught up in this shit. They still just do whatever the fuck they want to.
And when they do that, do you get to feel disappointment when you tell them, okay, go on and do you, but I can't keep dealing with that? Can you tell your kid, okay, go make your bumps and bruises? And when do you do that as a parent? Do you do that when they turn 18 and go off to college?
Shit.
Do you do that when they're 16 and they start shaking their neck and smelling their own ass and start telling you what to do? Okay, well, since you're grown.
Yeah, when he did that at 16, remember we told my cousin he thought I was like gonna come back that night or next day, and came back after. But I was mentally prepared for that.
So how do you know when your kids are mentally prepared?
I don't know. To be honest with you.
Because I am still learning that. So from people who are parenting and been through situations like this, please put your input in. We're still learning. Babe. How do you do sex in a blended family? You know, you want to keep the spice in your life. So since you want to keep the spice in your life, you want to have...
You ain't got no fun, kicky sex with kids around. I mean, that's just me. I don't like that shit. That's weird.
Once
you gonna knock out some quickies, but
once you graduate, everything I do for you is out of love and not obligation.
Boom.
Boom! So many parents need to hear that, and I needed to hear that. Tasha said, I've started having open lines of communication with my kids now. She will sit down and have an entire conversation with me about things that she feels. I make her feel safe and don't scold her for her feelings.
Keep that.
That is positive. And with my next set of children, because of course my teenagers are already teenagers, but with my sons, because I don't like using this word step, with my sons, I'm a different woman. I'm that communicator. I want them to talk to me. I want them to question me, because I ain't always right. I ain't perfect. I want them to question me like, okay, you think I'm wrong because this, but I think I'm right because of this.
Nobody's perfect.
You might talk your ass out of ass whooping. You know, like I'm more open now than I was when I started parenting when I was a teen mom at 17. So that is powerful that once you graduate, everything I do for you is out of love and not out of obligation. I know a lot of people feel just like I did, obligated to take care of my graduated kid and not just tell them like, hey, I love you. This is why I'm doing this. So I feel like a lot of people can grow from that. Tasha said, Jay is also responding with me. He's rolling up. Babe has made sure we was ready.
So make sure, let's go some happy shit. I'm tired of sad, depressing kids not listening to this. Fucking Friday, come on.
Okay, it's Friday. Let's turn up.
Not turn up. Switch the topic of stuff. Yeah.
Let's talk about something more positive. I'm gonna burn some sage in a second. Just thank you for letting me get that conversation about the teenage kids out, because that was something that I most definitely needed feedback on, just from other people. Let's talk about relationships and keeping the spark with kids. What do you do? Do you get hotel rooms? Do you go to the movies? Do you go to the strip club? And for the women, do you let your men go to the strip club by themselves? Are you willing to go to the strip club with your mate?
What's your just real big like bowling? Do y'all go walks in the park and shit?
Do you go for walks? Like, I mean, there's free stuff you can do. Like, go to the park. Are you riding bikes together? Babe, what is it that you love to do with me?
Being with me. I like seeing you smile, so anything you happy and doing. I don't know. I don't like doing too much anyway, so.
Seeing me smile makes you happy.
Yeah.
What is it that makes what's fun to you?
I'm so much like weed, guys, and strip clubs. So.
Weed, guns, and strip clubs. I feel like him going to the strip club by himself, but I don't mind going also to the strip club. Is it okay, ladies who do go to the strip club with your man, for your man to walk away from you and go put money in another woman's? Because me personally, until my relationship now, I hadn't been to a strip club with my mate. And I went to a strip club with my mate, and it was fun. I think I had more fun at the strip club than he did. I'm talking to the strippers, having a whole conversation with these strippers, and really just seeing a different atmosphere. Jerome went to smoke. We don't smoke cigarettes in the house. Me personally, I think that relationships change. How many of us who are in committed relationships feel like your relationship has changed from when you started? I'm getting a text message. Hold on. I'm also doing curbside deliveries for the Essence of Kemet, and also delivering products if you are out of products. Exactly. Colorado doesn't have a lot of good men's strip clubs. I think the only place where men strip is Boys Town, and that is actually a gay club. Of course, I've been there, but in Colorado, they don't have the same kind of strippers. Of course, they change as we grow. They change. Relationships change as they grow, but if you're in a growth period in a relationship, do you share that with your mate?
What?
If you're growing, so let's say you're reading self-help books or doing something to make yourself better, do you tell your mate like, hey, I might be disconnected? Or do you tell your mate, I'm working on these self-help books so I can be a better me? I may not be the same person.
Hey, I never thought of it like that.
If not changing to me, it seems that you have no goals. Yes, you need to have goals. You need to have goals as a couple, and you need to have personal self goals. I think if you're not ever evolving, then you're not
stagnant.
You're stagnant. You're being complacent. And a lot of people get stuck in complacency and think that that's of course. But I feel like you need to change. You need to be ever evolving. Better me, and as you learn, share what you learn. Yes, but your partner might not want to learn the same things that you're learning. So you need to also be okay, like I said, with loving yourself in the beginning of this, where you might be changing in ways that your partner's not changing, but that doesn't mean that your relationship has to change. You can't not love your partner through their change.
If y'all together, y'all eventually gonna become one. Y'all might have different mindsets. It might take longer for it to grasp, but whatever you're trying to learn, it's gonna rub off on me. Vice versa.
And I think that's the law of attraction. One of the books that quarantine has allowed me to read is the law of attraction. And I now understand that what you speak will come to pass in one way or another. So make sure that when you're speaking about your life, you speak positivity on your finances. You don't have to say I'm gonna be a millionaire, because everybody ain't gonna be a millionaire.
Okay, you tell yourself that shit.
But you tell yourself that you're going to be financially stable, because you might not want to be that. Like, you might be a millionaire, but your goal might be to just not have to worry about money anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a lot of people do.
Because
Some people.
write your goals down. Do this with intent. Manifest what you want. Saging is what I'm telling everybody during quarantine. Sage.
And when you wake up and before you go to sleep.
In your relationships, I feel like saging each other connects you. What about learning from your partners? Learning from your mate?
That's what you should be doing. If you're not learning from each other, you need to be with them, in my opinion.
But what is it that you feel like you learn from me?
Talking to people that want to talk. God, everybody wants to talk. Let me fucking go. Most people don't even talk about shit anyway. Just want to talk. That shit is annoying. Talk with purpose. Shut the fuck up.
So what's talking with purpose?
Talking, you know what you're talking about, just not trying to make conversation with somebody. Everybody has an intent when they're talking to somebody. Let that shit be known. Don't hide it.
Tasha says, so true. I agree. What are you doing to better yourself during the quarantine, babe?
Reading books. The shit. I'm about to go back to. I might go to college. Shit. Fuck it. That is what's about to happen.
You're going to college?
Hell yeah.
What brought you to that point?
It's type of business I want to do. I got it. I got to at least get 2 years of that in. So I can at least be legit for government purposes. Don't fuck with you. So it's not a real business. I want to talk about it, but don't.
Sharing knowledge. If you're sharing knowledge with your mate, babe.
You say, am I?
Are you going to share the knowledge from college?
Yeah, I mean, shit, you're up in your body. You get that. That's basically what it is.
This is Sage, everyone.
Which one is it? The moon?
Yeah.
So I think that's two Sage.
This is Blue Sage with rose petals.
So you actually got a rose petal right now?
Okay, so. I sage a lot.
Both of those. Even with that, I ain't know nothing about sage and all that. I have no problem with it. I'm open to it.
I feel like knowledge is power, and
still ain't seen no aliens though, man. What's going on with that?
Has anyone had any experiences that they just want to share with us?
Don't share, please. Then you just show it up. Look over here with this.
Where am I getting my sage? You can get your sage from me. I'm importing my sage. So I get my sage from Africa. I import. And I also sell it. So if you want to get sage, you can most definitely do that. There's a couple places here in Colorado that you can get sage. Of course, during quarantine, you're going to have to order it online and possibly wait up to 5 to 7 days. Where do you get your sage with the rose petals? Most definitely, like I said, I import. Beautyofkemet.com. Shout out to the Beauty of Kemet Whitesage.com.
Well, see, yeah, that one, yeah, it came in the box. Yeah, Whitesage came from here. Denver.
We burn white sage and purple sage and blue sage. Every sage has spiritual properties and cleansing properties. So make sure that you are doing your research on your sages, on what you your intent that you're putting out. Positivity. I looked up what sages were good for us. Me and my husband both are Cancers, zodiac signs, and rising sign. You're a Cancer rising, right? I am not a Cancer rising. I want it to be Cancer, but I am not. I'm also, we're both water signs. So water signs working together. Make sure that you're looking into that. Jay says, I was in the military in New Mexico beside NASA, so aliens. Haha, I will neither confirm nor deny. Laughing my ass out. Well,
I was in New Mexico. Yeah, they told me the stories, man. Y'all, some lucky guys.
I feel that the ancestral plane has opened us up to be able to see those things and know those things and be around those things. And some people just don't have that ability. Don't rub it in to other people who can't.
It's all right.
But share the knowledge and confirm nor deny. Jay, would you tell us a little bit more about being open? Because I know that you have to be open to that to even acknowledge that.
I don't want to talk about the real ones, not the government ones.
The government ones. How do you feel about the coronavirus vaccine that they're trying to make? Will you take it? Babe? Will you take it?
Oh, fuck it. I ain't scared. Hell no, I ain't taking it. Whoever try to make me,
I ain't taking it. I'm never taking another vaccine ever. I've learned too much knowledge on vaccinations, and I refuse to take vaccines. More times vaccines do more harm than good. What are your views on that? And what are your views on if they tell us that if your kids don't have certain vaccinations, they can't go to school? Babe, should the government be able to run your children in your household?
Hell no. I mean, but really, if people want to know, you got to go to court just to legally obtain rights to your kids because the government owns
Facts.
your children.
They said, let's just have secret clearance. We'll talk offline. That's one of the reasons why we homeschool. So what are your views on homeschooling?
That sounds like the best thing right now.
Kids are considered property. Whoa.
You are.
You are property. But these kids nowadays in the 20th century don't believe that they're property of their parents. They believe that they can tell they're property of the state. So the state tells them what they can and cannot say to us and do. And we have to abide by that or go to jail. What's your feelings on that? I don't want to go to jail because my kid decided to say the wrong thing or because I smacked the crap out of him.
Man, my kid ever sent me to jail shit like that, man. You belong to the goddamn government. You got to what the fuck?
But that's what these kids are learning. They're learning that
they
can say the right wording at school. I don't feel safe, or I don't want to be with her because she hit me. And now you're dealing with all kinds of extra. Jay said you got to make it to the phone. Yeah, but what if they go to school? They acting one way at home, and they go to school, and they telling the man a different story. Babe, come on now, you gotta tell us what you think.
I don't care, so I mean, even say if Jaron did some shit, you made it. You gotta stay there. Pick your side, man. Yeah, you my child. I'm always gonna love you, but you got to experience that. Then before I come save you.
Tasha said homeschool is a wonderful way to teach your kids, and it such that more people can. It sucks that more people can do or want to do it. I think a lot of people don't have the gift.
Yeah.
If you don't have the gift to teach kids, you shouldn't keep your kid at home, like just because it's free. I used to tell mine, you call the cops on me, you have to go live with your daddy and live with your daddy in Texas. Yeah, but when they become teenagers, they think that's cool.
Man, what's wrong with that choice?
Jay said, hey, if you say that, then you must want to go by. I'm not about to be locked up for that. I'll go to war behind my kids. But if you do me like that, then you have. And that's the thing. As parents, we got to be that strong. You and my husband are super strong when it comes to that. Women normally will fall into the trap of the kids and try to be extra loving, but we need to be more strict. Josh tried it and I shipped his ass on. I'm proud of you for doing that. And I think more of us parents need to hold our kids accountable for what they say and what they do.
Strong woman to do that.
That's why I said you're super strong for sending him to Texas. He didn't want to abide by your rules and do what you said do. You sent him away.
Not because a lot of moms, they just take that shit.
And especially women, especially as melanated women, we treat our sons like they are men, especially if you don't have a man, instead of. I've seen a lot of it. I won't say for myself, but I know that you're a little more lenient on the boys. My husband, from what I hear, the women in his family was more lenient on the boys, nice to the boys, giving the boys what they wanted. Dealing with that in a relationship was a struggle. It really was.
Yeah, because you don't have to deal with it.
That's what he was used to. But you have to decide in a relationship like what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. And how you're willing to do things and how you're willing to allow things to happen.
Yes, that too.
And you have to be strong as parents. And yes, your kids have to grow up. They can't always be under you. And you can't make decisions for your kids all the time. Like when they're under, let's say 12, make those decisions. But after they turn 12, I think they're old enough to start making decisions and taking the consequences. He came back 6 months later. He got it. He was still a pain when he came back, but we understood the lifestyle. He was different then.
Yeah, he knew mom wasn't playing.
But that's the thing. It's like you got to stand on your rules. If you didn't stand on your rules, when he came back, you was letting him get away with murder and take the car and do stuff, then most definitely you wouldn't have got the same result. And I promise you, at some point, kids, baby, you tell me if that's true, you took some time back to look at the things that your dad said to you.
Oh, yeah,
to see.
Yeah, when I had Jaron, we talked finally. I understood. And Me and him are just exactly alike though. So uh, him and my mom should have never reproduced, but they did. So he understood. These are two fucked up attitudes and mindsets that never came together.
So you lived through co-parenting.
Yeah,
What was that experience like for you?
I don't know. Well, I was always with my dad. Then my mom took me. Yeah, I was staying with her until 14, and then moved with him.
So how did you feel as a kid wanting to see your father and your mom not allowing it? Did you resent your mother?
Yeah, me and her never even seen eye to eye anyway.
Do you think that that is a deciding factor in your relationship with your mother now today?
Oh no.
And the reason why I'm asking these questions is because I feel like a lot of people blame their upbringing on how they are today as a crutch. And I'm showing you by what I'm saying to my husband, asking him these questions, that you can choose, you can make a choice to be whatever man or woman you want. And if I give anything to the youth, you make a choice. You made a choice.
Oh yeah.
You stood on it. Regardless if it was the best choice that you could have made or not.
Yeah.
You stood on it.
Yeah.
You grew on it.
You have no choice.
Who do you blame for anything that you had that happened to you after you left your dad's house? Who do you blame for anything that happened, positive or negative?
Me. I made every decision that happened. I knew me wanting to have girls over, and he wasn't dealing with that. So not coming in at his times, you know. But around that time, you know, you pretty much know, and this ain't working out. I got this to make this happen.
So I think that the people that are listening, that are youth, if you want to be grown and make grown-up decisions, you need to do just what he did. You need to stand on it and go be grown.
There's a million other people that don't do that shit and still on it. You know what's crazy, though? Once you do it, and you don't actually help, and they see you did that shit, they're proud of you. Because like, oh shit, my kid did it.
Jay said, "Hey, Jaron, thank you for finding and holding my sis down. I'm really happy she got her a true king, real shit." Ashe! Ashe!
Appreciate it. It's all I heard shit, you know. See.
I think smiling is everything. I think that I feel like I'm in my 20s again. Not because the 30s is the new 20, like they were saying in the songs. I'm saying because my husband loved me through the good, the bad.
Love you. That's still good. Really, which was love. That's
I didn't say loved. I said loved me.
That's all I love.
Okay. Well, let me make sure I say correctly. He loves me through the good, the bad. We have had so many things that I had to deal with, that I had to grow through. And you look and sound happier. Thank you so much. I am. Because for one, I can be myself. I get to be me all day long. Good, bad, mood swings. Of course, we're both cancers, so that's a whole nother story to tell, because two cancers in the same house, we're both water signs, but we both grew up differently. So I took on all the emotional cancer traits where I be crying all the time. Everything makes me sad. Talking about makes me sad. But him, on the other hand, he's a thinker. And he has taught me how to be a thinker, a true thinker. Thinking about what I say. I rewatch a lot of our videos to see what else I could give to you guys. What else I can learn from what I said, because sometimes I'll be saying some stuff that I'll be like, Misha, that is not growth. But I want to be real. I want to be 100%. Babe, do you see any change or growth in me?
Yes, a lot.
And what change or growth do you see?
Man, you don't blab your mouth as much. Like having to everybody know everything you're doing. That is not good nor safe. But and you think you just don't impulse decisions. You sit back and really think about it.
So if a man truly loves a woman, make sure you guys like or comment so that I can thank you for coming into the room. Most definitely. What is it that makes you feel like you made the right decision?
When you got that determined look, and you handle shit on your own without even coming to me in action, that's sexy to me. You handle business, you taking care of things. And not asking other people for help if you need help, you ask me. But you have good judgment. Start using it. You got it.
Hearing your mate speak positively about you or to you can change who you are. My husband saw in me what I could see in me, but I hadn't developed. I hadn't done the work. I hadn't been allowed the time to do the work. And that's what I want to make sure that you understand, that we're being 100% real, open, and honest. This is us pouring out our love, our relationship, our blended family, our 4 kids, our life, so that not only we can help the youth, but we can help relationships make it through and know when to cut it loose. Nobody should be unhappy. If every day you wake up crying or sad or feeling like you got to walk on eggshells, that is not a positive relationship. Positive relationships are built, they are made, they are not bought. You can't just go buy one, you can't just go find one. You're never going to have a perfect relationship. If I could say anything to single mothers or mothers who are transitioning into another relationship, I would most definitely like to tell you that you are important, and it is not all about the children. You are still important, because if you're not happy, you're not teaching your kids to be happy. If you're not teaching your kids to be happy because they see happiness. I learned from my relationship that when mommy's happy, then the whole house, everyone is happy. But also, I also learned how to have adult conversations, not with children, only with my husband. I also learned that us as human beings, we need to all take the time to grow and change. And sometimes when it's time for you to change, you'll feel like your life is not purposeful, or you're unhappy, or you're bumping your head. And sometimes that means you need to shut down, be quiet, reevaluate yourself, make sure you're loving on yourself, and give that love to someone else. I learned that I had to learn how to be quiet and learn how to be alone. How many people on here can say that they know how to just be alone? My husband is showing me daily, and quarantine is showing me how to be with myself. I didn't realize how much I depended on other energies, on helping others. As long as I could give a positive something to somebody else, I didn't have to work on me. I didn't have to work on this girl. I didn't have to deal with my kids, or I didn't have to deal with my business. I didn't have to promote my business. I didn't have to um, learn that faith without works gets you nowhere. Um, like I said, eventually I am going to retwist these locks so you guys can see how much growth I have in here. But needless to say, I used to rock a baby fro, and now I have 1, 2, 3 ponytails. You can't see because now it's a little dark in the room, but my purple is popping. Renee says I'm an introvert, so I love alone time. Oh, my husband's the same way. I wish I could be an introvert, but I am the Cancer, the loving one, the one who needs to love on other people. So quarantine was hard for me at first because I had to learn how to love myself. And then I realized that I was loving each and every one of you, every person in the world, more than myself. How is that good for my relationship? It wasn't. How is it good for teaching my children? It wasn't. Um, but I want everyone to know that I personally promote self work, knowledge of self. Um, do the research on your ancestry tree. Do the research on yourself. Like, if you know, because I feel that more people should know that things are passed on through your DNA that you don't even know. So, hurt can be passed on to your children. If they see you cry all the time, they turn into crybabies. Um, and I'm knowing this from personal experience. And if you have a different experience, please comment. Um, I know my husband, if he was in the room, he would have a different comment to say. Um, but I'm learning now that it's about choices. You make the choice. Um, I want everyone to like, comment, so subscribe to our channel so that you can let us know what you want to talk about, because I most definitely want you to not only learn about us as Jaron&Misha the Mosleys, but I want you to learn about the beauty of Kemet. I want you to learn about how to take care of your natural hair. If you want me to do a tutorial on how to wash your natural hair or your locks, how to trim your own ends at home. I will do also virtual appointments right now. I cannot do appointments. The CDC will not allow me as a licensed cosmetologist to do that, but I will most definitely do virtual appointments with you and go through hair services with you and take care of you. And if you have a stylist or someone that is a local business that you know is closed, make sure that you are reaching out to them. I know a lot of them, including myself. I'm doing deliveries, curbside, contactless deliveries to make sure that your hair is staying moisturized. And I posted some of those things on Pinterest. Check me out, Be a Kemet. Check out the website. Of course, I must be getting to the end because I'm doing all these disclaimers. Um, if you need to reach out to me, please do via text message or email. I am on there. I am here for you. Like I said in the beginning, our first video, that we were going to be talking about natural hair care and maintaining your hair. And now that we're in quarantine, I want people to know that we will make sure that your hair is taken care of. My hair is very moisturized. It is very healthy. I have my parts are still there, but I just don't have them showing because I haven't had a retwist. Um, I am trying to see what is the exact amount of time you should go in between retwists. Best way to do it is to do it on yourself. Take care of your locks yourself. If you take care of your hair yourself, then you don't have to worry about anything else. Good night to everyone. Good night, Renee. I am going to get off of here and figure out how many more shots I can take. I love you all. Peace. Namaste. Positive things, positive wishes. I wish you all positive energy, positive affirmations to all of you. Make sure that when you wake up, you tell yourself something good every morning. Remember to sage. Peace and blessings from the Mosleys. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll probably try to come on again tomorrow.